Like, show me the products, show me how they work. What's up everyone? I hope you're having a good day or had a good day wherever you may be in this world. I will no longer be able to say that without thinking of my sisters Sophie and Ava, because every time I see them when I go home, they're just like, I hope you're having a good day wherever you may be in this world, like making fun of me. So today I decided that I wanted to go in and do my 2018 favorites, beauty favorites. I will have my skincare favorites coming out, so this is mainly on makeup favorites. I'm not going to be doing it like every other beauty guru. I decided that my 2018 was kind of everywhere. I went home twice. I was home for 3.5 months, and so I didn't really get a chance to play with a lot of stuff. I did get a chance to play with some new makeup. The way that I'm going to be doing my 2018 makeup favorites is basically telling you all of the favorites that I have loved over 2018. So most of these things did not come out in 2018, so that's what I just want to get out of the way, is the makeup wasn't made in 2018, it's just what I loved throughout 2018. So let's count how many times I say 2018, because this is just absurd. Yeah, again, these are my 2018 favorites. These are not like all together 2018, best of 2018. It's just my yearly favorites. And I wrote down a bunch of stuff. Really, in every category I have like 1 to 4 things, but only one, like most of them only have one, and if I have more than one, it's like a couple high-end and then a couple drugstore, or one high-end, one drugstore. So before this video becomes 5 million years long, because I have a lot to talk about, so let's just go ahead and get into the video. So to start off with primers, I do have 3 primers here. Okay, I have 4 primers, but I have 3 primers to show. One primer I have in my drawer over there that is a backup of what I had, but I had already used it. So it's not summer anymore, so I'm not using it. So my first one is the Dr. Brandt's Pores No More. The reason why I have 4 primers is because I like a certain primer for a certain area of my face. And specifically the Pores No More, I like to put it on my nose or in this area right here. That's specifically where I like to focus it. I don't like to put this all over the face. It is a little bit greasy to touch, but it actually lets my foundation stick to my nose in the area, whichever area I put it on. And I like to use this when I want like a full look and I want it to last long, like if I'm going somewhere at night. So that's when I like to use the Pores No More. It is a little bit pricey, but it works pretty good. Another one that I love to use in the same area, I couldn't choose between the two because I wasn't really sure which one I liked more. I kind of like them both. This is the Urban Decay De-Slick Complexion Primer. I love putting this specifically on my nose because it is shine control, and of course my nose is like the oiliest part on my body or on my face. Pore minimizing and mattifying. The only downfall to this one is if you don't pat it in and you rub it in, it'll start beating up, and that's one thing that I don't like. And another thing, if you don't use this very often, which I like to like cycle out of my primers and use a primer every once in a while, like a big long stick of like dried primer will come out. A drugstore primer that I love to use without feeling guilty while using it is the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. This just has like a very soft feeling when you put it on your skin, and I love to put this everywhere. It just, I didn't notice if it makes my makeup last longer or anything. It just makes the application a lot smoother, and it makes my face just feels so, I don't want to say luxurious, it just feels so perfect. And then my 4th one is the Urban Decay Prep Priming Spray. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that it's the skinny green bottle. It almost looks like, the bottle itself is very similar to this Urban Decay B6 Prep Priming Spray, but I got the smaller bottle and I feel like they're the same, but I haven't really put this one to the test much. But I loved using that in the summer for prepping my skin, as well as once I set my face, I use it to pretty much make the makeup all melt into my skin, and it made it look amazing. I was super obsessed with that. Okay, and then next we're going to go into foundation, and I have one from the drugstore and I have one from Sephora. Now, I think the Sephora one, if you've been watching my channel, you know which one it's going to be, but not really so much the drugstore one. And we'll start with the Sephora one because when I talk about the drugstore one, that's the one I'm going to be using today, just because I'm not really going anywhere and I'm almost out of my Sephora foundation one. So the Sephora one is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I absolutely love this. The smell doesn't really bother me, however, this is such an amazing foundation. It says it's infused with peach and sweet fig cream, so yes, it does smell really good. And it's oil-free, 14-hour wear, oil controlling, and photo-friendly. Every time I wear this foundation, I have such an amazing foundation and makeup day. When I was home for the 3 months, I was working at my aunt's pizza place, which was my first job I ever had. And I was wearing this, and I was over there cutting up steak sandwiches on the grill, sweating, and my makeup at the end of the night looked flawless still. Like, I didn't look oily, I didn't look disgusting, it didn't look super matte because, I mean, of course, if I'm sweating, you know, nothing's really gonna do that except for a waterproof makeup, but I looked healthy. Okay, this isn't going to make you be like, oh, it's super mattifying where it's sucking the life out of your face, but it's just a healthy matte where it just literally looks amazing. It doesn't break up on my nose, it doesn't break up anywhere on oily spots throughout the day, and it's so hard to explain how good it is. It really is just my favorite foundation. And then my drugstore one that I will be using today, my favorite drugstore is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This is in the shade Golden Beige. It's a medium warm. For a drugstore foundation, this stuff is really good for like the photography as well. I mean, it is photo focus. And it's less than $5. I think I want to say it's $4.99 at Walgreens is where I bought it. Because it's so cheap and so good, like, I don't feel guilty using it. Like, I'm just like, yep, I'm just gonna slap it on everywhere and use as much foundation as I have to. Again, I had the same outcome as my Too Faced one, except this one did have a little bit of wear, but again, I would really wear this mostly if I was going to, say, like, a night out or something like that where I was going to be under photography, because this just makes you look like super natural. Now for concealer, I have two. However, I don't have any from the drugstore. I just have two because they're almost similar to me as why I like them. And one is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard, and the Too Faced, I always want to say Too Faced, the Tarte Shape Tape. And I have one in the shade Light Neutral and one in the shade Medium. They're thick, but they're not extremely thick. So I have oily skin, oily combo skin, because some spots of my skin can be really dry sometimes, but mainly in my T-zone. But this concealer, both of these concealers are great. I loved using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the summer, because in the summer I want really glowy makeup that's not just gonna like suck the life out of my skin, because if you're under the sun for hours and hours, or you're in the heat for hours and hours, it just feels so heavy on your skin, and I hate that feeling. So the NARS Radiant Concealer was really good for summertime because it just didn't make me feel cakey, and it did really last. The Tarte Shape Tape does the same. NARS concealer being radiant catches my eye more because it's not like drying or mattifying. I use my drugstore concealers mostly to prime my eyelids. Okay, now for setting powder, I have 3 different setting powders. The one that I love specifically for under the eyes is the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I love using this under my eyes because there's no flashback whatsoever with this unless you're using pounds and pounds of it. But it also, if you use like the perfect amount, it doesn't make under my eyes look super dry. The rest of my face, I like to set it with, I like to alternate powders, like going back and forth, but my 2 most favorites in 2018, for myself as well as for clients when I did clients, the number 1 was the Coty Airspun. That was my absolute favorite because there is no flashback and it's perfect for all skin tones. So the second one is the ColourPop No Filter. If you watched my ColourPop first impression review, I didn't really like this because I used it under the eye, but I really do enjoy it using it everywhere else on my face except for under my eye. Now I'm gonna go out of whack here and just go into the setting spray that I took. Normally I would leave the setting spray for last, but lately this is how I've been doing my makeup, so I will mention it here and I'll mention it at the end of the video if I decide to set my makeup. I don't have a favorite setting spray. I had like a good one that I used in the summer that was good for like hydrating and glowy skin, but I don't have one that I would rather use constantly. I kind of just do like I do with my concealers or my foundations, is I just alternate them out, which is pretty much what I do with a lot of my makeup. But today I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild's Photo Focus. If I had one for a while, I just like to use it to get rid of it. So I am literally almost done, but I just go ahead and I spray my beauty blender and then pounce the back of my hand and put this all over my face because it melts in my makeup, like it becomes on in like second skin. Now I'm gonna go in with my favorite contours. I have two. One a lot of people may question, but yeah. So the first one is a legit contour. It's the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I love this palette. I love using this one. For me is more of like an ashy tone, which I love using that. And then more in the summer I will use this one and mix these two. But I do love using this one mostly. Now this one a lot of people may question because I've seen a lot of people question others when they say that they use this. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is my absolute favorite to contour with because, I mean, if you can tell, it's almost similar to my skin tone with a little bit of a darker tint to it. But I love using this. It just smells so good. I love using this as a contour because on me it has like the perfect ashy shade. So it like chisels out my cheeks a lot better than anything else really. So again, I'm going to go in with that Kat Von D powder and just bronze up my face a little bit more and use this more as a bronzer than a contour right now. Same shade that I told you in the beginning. Under my chin. Bring it up so there's not a huge gap there. So one contour that I love to use in the summer is the Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. This was just amazing in the summer. I think the packaging is a little faulty because it like, if I tip it upside down, it's just gonna fall out. So, and I know I'm not the only one that's happened to. This is just an amazing bronzer to use. And for a bronzer that I love to use is normally the NYC bronzer from the drugstore, which I use constantly, or the Hoola bronzer, which I do have. I guess I decided not to take it out. I'm sure you know what the Hoola bronzer looks like, but I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to use the NYC bronzer, and I feel like the reason why I go back and forth between these two, especially with the price point, is because I feel like they're very similar in tone and they're very similar as bronzers. Like the bronzer shade itself, they're very similar. So it's the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzing Face Powder in the shade 720 Sunny, and then the original Hoola bronzer. So I do think they are the same, and I'm just going to go over my contour a little bit and over to my forehead, and like I said, I do love going a little bit darker on my forehead. So for favorite blushes in 2019, I don't have one. I just have a blush palette, and I know for sure that this did not come out in 2018. This came out the year before because I was not interested in the one that they came out with this year because it was more of like not okay packaging to me. And this is the Tarte Blush Bazaar. I'm sorry, the lighting is like crazy, but this is such an amazing palette, and these are mainly the blushes that I have been using all 2018. There's 8 blushes in here and 2 highlighters, and I mainly go for the shade Angelic and Skillful and even Authentic over here, so mainly like this one and then this one right here. I'm just going to take a blush brush, and I'm using the shade Angelic, which is this one right here that I told you I constantly use. Highlighter is so easy, and I'm super excited to talk about highlighter because my favorite one came back, so I don't feel guilty talking about it. I do have two. My number one favorite highlighter of 2018, and probably until I find one to replace this one, is the Anastasia X Amrezy highlighter. This thing is literally just like a wave of amazing highlighter. It's like the perfect champagne-y gold. Like the gold isn't too much and it's not too much champagne. It's literally a mix of like champagne gold. Literally is just a perfect mix of the two. And I only got one of these when I first decided to buy this. I was just like, I have so many highlighters, I don't really need it. And then when I bought it, it quickly became my absolute favorite. And whenever somebody sees me using it, someone that's into makeup, they're like, oh my god, I love that highlighter too. And I'm just like, girl, it's my fave, you don't even know. But they did just come out with it again. I haven't tried the second one. I'm not sure if the formula is still the same, but I did go ahead and pick up a second one because even though I don't go through makeup a lot, I want to have it on backup. If I drop it and it cracks or something happens that I don't want it to, I at least have a backup. I do believe that the ones that they just came out with again is limited edition. They should just come out with it permanently because it is literally the best highlighter. And that's the highlighter that I am going to use today. And it's literally just the perfect highlighter for my skin tone. I love it, although I think that this would work for a lot of people. Even like fair skin, I believe that it would work pretty good as long as you don't put a lot. But I think that a lot of skin tones would really benefit from this one. And my second highlighter is also from Sephora. It has just released a few months ago. It is the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats Diamond Balm. At first, I was a little iffy of this product because honestly, like, it is a little jelly if you touch it, and when you put it on, it is very, very glitterily. Okay, why do I do that? Glitterily. It is very glittery and shimmery. But if you look at it, it looks white. It's really not white. Like, let me see if I can get a good swatch of it. So it looks white, but it's literally just, you probably can't see it because it doesn't have an undertone. It's just the glitter and the shimmer. And I was very nervous about using it, and at first when I did use it, it was very glittery and it kind of got a little bit all over my face. But if you love a balm highlighter, this is a balm highlighter. Literally, it's called Diamond Balm Highlighter. But this is also good for every skin type. If you are very deep, if you are very fair, because it doesn't have an undertone. It's just like a clear with the shimmer. And so this will literally work for anyone if they love this kind of a highlight. If you don't, it won't work for you. It's literally just preference. And I love to use this by putting it over my highlighter, and it just gives it more of a glow. So what I normally use as an eye primer is a concealer. And the concealers that I mostly use is if I put too much under my eye, I will bring it up to the top, or I'll use a drugstore concealer. And the one that I have been using for forever, since I first got it, is the Rimmel London Match Perfection 2-in-1 Concealer. This stuff really works for me. I love using it. My eyelids are slightly oily, but this still works. If you set it with a powder, it does still work. But on my eyes right now, I'm not going to apply this because I do already have the Tarte Shape Tape on my eyes. And the 2018 palette that I have been loving ever since I bought it. Ever since I bought it, I have been loving it, and I know that a ton of people love this palette as well. And probably people are sick of hearing about it and sick of people talking about it, but you can't let an amazing palette go unnoticed. If I know of an amazing product, I'm gonna share it. I'm not just gonna keep it to myself because how fair would that be? So this is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. This is such an amazing palette. It has so many amazing colors. You can do so many different looks with them. It's got shimmers, it's got matte eyeshadows, and whenever I don't know what I want to do with a look, I literally are just like, alright, where's my Jaclyn Hill palette? Well, every time I travel with this palette, so that's why it's like my #1 palette. I'm not going to go and do an in-depth eyeshadow look. I just want to apply some few shadows and go about my day. Okay, so that took an unexpected turn. I didn't expect to use any color or anything, but here I am with greenish, bluish eyeshadow on my face, and we're just gonna keep it like that because that's what I decided to do today. We're gonna talk about mascaras that I love for 2018. Again, this product may have not come out in 2018, but this is just my favorite. I have two for two specific reasons. And on my channel, if you have watched my channel for a while, you know I don't normally speak about Sephora or high-end mascaras because I feel like I can find exactly what I'm looking for at a quarter of the price. I don't want to pay $30-something for a mascara. I don't want to pay $40-something for a mascara that I know a $7, $8, $9 mascara can do. So that's just my preference. You are more than welcome to go splurge on mascara, but I'd rather splurge elsewhere. So my favorite mascara of 2018 is definitely the CoverGirl Total Tease mascara. This, I believe, actually I bought two of these for $5. Normally they're like $9.99, so I got two for the price of one. This is my second one, and then I also bought a third one because it is just my favorite. So the wand on this mascara is very different. The wand is weird, but I still love it. I have found a way to actually make it work. This mascara, without wearing false lashes, gives me somewhat of volume, but it also makes my lashes stay curled. Now, again, I'm going to say a million times, if you have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I constantly talk about how my eyelashes grow down and straight, and it's just so hard for me to keep them curled, which is why the only mascaras that I use are waterproof, which I know is very heavy and hard on your lashes, but it's the only thing. If I use non-waterproof mascara, then my lashes literally, like, they don't do nothing. They just stay the same way they were if they would right now. So this, I actually really do love it. And the second mascara that I have isn't really a mascara for my top lashes. However, I do use it for like the inner corner sometimes because they remind me of my bottom lashes. And this is the NYX The Skinny Mascara. It's so tiny. The brush is even smaller. The brush is literally, it looks like, I don't even know. But it's perfect for your bottom lashes because when I use a big mascara brush for my bottom lashes, it just makes a terrible mess, and I don't want to have to go back in underneath with a brush and clean up the black mascara. So using this smaller mascara works amazingly because usually I save mascara for the end. I mean, who doesn't? And then by that time you're like, oh crap, I need to hurry up, I need to get my hair done, and I'm running out of time. So it's like you don't have time to fix your mascara after you've pretty much made a complete mess out of it. Okay, so now that my mascara is on, the next product that we go and talk about is eyebrows. The beginning of this year, I was a complete, my eyebrows don't need to be touched. They're perfectly fine. They're dark enough. I don't need to color them in. But I tried one day and I filled in literally the tiniest amount, and it just made such a big difference where everything looked more put together. So I have started experimenting with eyebrow products and buying more eyebrow products, and I am back to doing my own brows, so hopefully they're back to being twins soon. But the number one product of 2018 for eyebrows that I have absolutely loved is the Benefit Precisely My Brow in the shade 6. I want to say 6 is the darkest. I do try and go more for black eyebrow pencils instead of brown because my hairs are literally dark brown / black, which, speaking of that, the last time I did a makeup video, I was red. My hair was red. Precisely My Brow is my fave. Now, I don't have eyebrows, and the reason why I love that eyebrow pencil is because it's skinny, and it literally just goes in and fills the spots that need to be filled. But I have been trying a bunch of different eyebrow pencils just to see how I like even the consistency of it. It's not waxy, it's more of like a pencil. So when I put it on, it's not like smudge. The thing is eyelashes and eyelash glue. I am not going to apply eyelashes today. I don't even have the package to show you of which eyelash I love, but I know they are Ardell Wispies. I want to say 112, but I don't even really remember. I just used my last pair. They're sitting on my bathroom sink waiting for me to wear them again. But I pulled them out of the package and I haven't bought the 5-pack again. Those are literally my favorite. The favorite lash glue that I like right now is the that I have liked and used all 2018 is the KASS Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe, the black one, so that way it's easier to blend in. You don't have to go over the white with your eyeshadow and stuff like that. You can just make it look like you have a winged eyeliner on, which is a lot easier. So yeah, this is my favorite. It lasts forever and it's so easy to just take off at the end of the day when you don't want lashes on anymore. Now,